Okay, the final thing that I'm going to talk to you about is less about the chords and less about what notes to actually play and more about how to play in order to help you be a part of the band and really feel like you're involved in adding something, okay? Now, many classical pianists that I know are really good at picking out melodies with their right hand. They're really good at picking out bass lines, but it takes them a while to get there because they feel trapped by the chords, right? And what I mean by that is you'll have like this Holy Forever, 1,000 generations falling down in worship, okay? And the temptation will be just to play and hit and hold on those notes because that's what the music is telling you to do. Just to play these notes, these chords for this amount of time, all right? Yes, that is exactly what the music is telling you to do. In fact, I'll pull up the music here so that we can work on this together. All right. But depending on what part of the song you're in, you might want to change up the techniques that you're using, and some of the classical techniques that you have maybe learned can really help to make this a lot prettier. Okay. So instead of just playing what I call block chords, which is trusting the pad under the piano or whatever, and just playing 1,000 generations falling down in worship, sing the song of ages to the Lamb. Okay, instead of playing that, because that's kind of boring. Now, sometimes that's what's needed. Okay, so if they're telling you we just want it to be very gentle, maybe don't even play 1, 3, 5 on both hands. Play an open fifth or play octaves. You know. Something like that, right? That's one of the things that you can do. The other thing that you can do is you can move up an octave into the space where nobody's really hanging out and play like one note at a time. Okay, something like that, nice little melody line. I'm just using 1, 2, 3, and 5 in order to pick out a melody, and I'm doing that on the 1 chord and the 4 chord, right? And I'm just like switching between the bass and whatever. You can do something like that. The other thing that you can do is you can arpeggiate. All right, and by arpeggiate, what I mean is spell it up from the bottom or spell it down from the top. Okay, or come up with your own rhythm of how you like to play. I've got a very specific rhythm that I like to play that kind of feels old, churchy, country, but that's just kind of what's baked into me. Okay, so let's do this first one. 1, 2, ready, arpeggiating. 1,000 generations falling down in worship, sing a song of ages to the Lamb. And all who've gone before us, and all who would believe, will sing a song of ages to the Lamb. Okay, so I'm not a very good pianist. I hit wrong notes in there or whatever, but like a little bit of movement, a little bit of crescendo, decrescendo, and that can really help with the emotion of it. Okay, now, but I probably wouldn't do that for the pre-chorus, right? You want to follow the feeling of the song, and for the pre-chorus, once we get down to here, it's kind of like driving a little bit. And so I'm going to pulse through that. Your name is the highest. Your name is the greatest. Your name stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions. Your name stands above them all. And the angels cry, holy, hallelujah. Okay, So all that to say, like, come up with some rhythmic things to do. And on these faster songs, like, something like some alternate, 3/4 in one hand, 4/4 in the other, whatever. You can get really complicated, and if you have any rhythm background, if you played guitar in the past or you have some drum experience, it's going to be a little bit easier. But really, you can come up with some things. The only thing I would say is just be careful with that sustain pedal, because if you've got it down, it's going to be a muddy mess. And especially if you got a pad on in the background, if you're playing a digital piano, it can just have a wash of this really dissonant sound. Make sure to lift up on that sustain pedal if you're used to using it, or if you're not used to using it as much. Make sure you're lifting up on it often on your chord changes. Lift up, lift up, lift up. So that you get a clean sustain coming after the notes there, and not carrying over from a bunch of the chords before. And so just make a pattern of resetting that sustain pedal quite a bit. All right, those are about all the tips that I use in order to lead on a Sunday morning. It takes me a lot of practice to be ready to go on a Sunday morning because I'm used to playing guitar. But I hope that this course has been helpful to you and has given you some tools that you can use in order to lead worship at your church confidently, knowing what's coming on your worship charts. And what I found is that if you are willing and able to master chord charts, then you can really, really, really be helpful to your worship team, because you're going to understand the theory behind it. You're going to understand why the artists are choosing the chords that they're choosing, and in the specific, arrangements as far as like the 7 chords or whatever, or different elements like that. And you're going to be able to help your worship team out to figure out why and how to do that really, really well. And that can really be beneficial to your team. So make sure that you are continuing to work on this. Play through a lot of songs, okay? That is my biggest recommendation to you, is find some chord charts, listen to the music, play along with the recordings as much as you can, and you're going to see yourself really, really, really take off in your understanding of how this works and your comfort. That's the biggest thing, is just get comfortable playing this stuff and stay on the keys a lot. And what you'll find is that then it unlocks the door, unlocks the floodgates for your own creativity, your own interpretations of things to come out, because we don't all need to sound the same. We don't all need to sound like Elevation or Bethel. We want you to sound like you, but you need to understand why things sound the way they do first. So do a lot of experimenting, figure it out, and God bless you on your journey.